Hey, in this video, we're going to see if we can determine if equations and points represent perpendicular lines. Okay, so let's jump right in. A quick little refresher on opposite reciprocals. So you really need to know this concept to do well in this lesson. So opposite reciprocal just means that if you have 2/3, we're going to flip those upside down and flip the sign. So the opposite reciprocal is -3/2. And then here, if we have -5/2, the opposite reciprocal would be a positive 2/5. So if that's negative, then this becomes positive, right? Okay, so let's jump into our example one here. We have our lines Q and M perpendicular. And what you need to do is compare the slopes of the two to see if they are opposite reciprocals. So in this first one here, we got 3/2 is the slope. So remember, this is in y equals mx plus b, and the m is the slope part. Cool. And then over here we have -4/3. And then if we compare these two, we notice that they aren't opposite reciprocals, so no, not perpendicular. All right, does that make sense? So then if we jump to the next example here, the difference is that if you look at this equation, 2y minus 3x equals -10, it is not in this y equals mx plus b slope-intercept form. So let's change that over first. So I'm going to add 3x to both sides. So we got 2y equals 3x minus 10, and then I'm going to divide by 2 to get the y by itself. So we got 3/2x minus 5. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay, I'm just going to speed through and do this side real quick. Okay, I'm back. So now we need to compare our slopes. So we're comparing this slope with this slope, and the question is, are they opposite reciprocal? Let's see, opposite reciprocal. And the answer is no. So these are not opposite reciprocal, so they're not parallel. Perpendicular. Cool. So that is it for, I got one more. So say they give you coordinates and not equations, then we need to use this formula to find the slopes, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and then compare their slopes to see if they are perpendicular. So step one is I would label your coordinates. So this is x1, y1, and then x2, y2, and then x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, and then to find the slope, I'm just going to plug this equation down here. So we got -6, a minus a -4 over -9 minus a -1. And then that's going to equal -6. This becomes a positive. So that would be -2. And then this would become a positive. So that becomes -8. And then that becomes, these cancel out. So we got 2/8. And then if we reduce that, that becomes 1/4. Okay, so that's the slope of this first one. I'm just going to speed through and do this side real quick. See on this type of lesson, and then just give them a try, and then I'll see you guys in the next lesson.